So what's going on, guys? Welcome to part 3 of our Flutter in-app purchases. In part 3 we are going to look at subscriptions, right? So there's already part 1 and part 2 published in my channel. So part 1, it has to do with the introduction as well as the demo and project setup. So here we looked at how to sign our application, upload it to Google Play Console. So we also configured how to implement the test environment so that we can use test card whenever we test our in-app purchases, right? Instead of using real money. You really need to watch part 1. Then part 2, this is where we implement the consumable items. So I've implemented the buy coins. So if you wanna implement buy coins in application, I recommend you watch this one. So in part 3, this is the one that we're going to implement now. Then this is going to be a subscription tutorial. So as you can see, I'm on the main.dat file. So what we need to do is to duplicate this. Before I do that, let me just convert this into a column so that I can have a subscriptions gesture detector, which is this one. Let me just rename it to subscriptions. Then let me just align this to the center. And then what I need to do is create a new subscriptions file. And then it's going to be a stateful widget because we want to update the subscriptions products in the UI. And then we can just simply copy this name, go back to the main.dat file in the subscription gesture detector and change this to subscriptions, and then import the file. And then now when I click subscriptions, it should take me to the subscription screen. For now it's black because there's no scaffold here. There's this container. Let's just change it to a scaffold, save that, and then let's just put an app bar. There you go. So now let's just plan out our development here. So what we need to do is a list of products, right? We'll need a list of products. We'll need a list of product IDs. And then we'll also need our in-app engine. Then we're also gonna need a boolean variable to store our is subscribed or is not subscribed, right? So this list of products is the one that we're going to store our products whenever we query them from Google Play Console, right? So this product details type is coming from the in-app purchase, the in-app purchase package. Then the list of products is coming from the OnePrev package, this one. Then also this one, the in-app engine, and you can just create a new instance of in-app engine, just like that. Then here we'll need to create a boolean is subscribed. Initial is going to be false. There you go. Then what we need also is the init stage to query the product whenever we land to this screen. If the user they come to the screen, the init state is going to be called first. That's where we want to query our products. So we'll define a function here, get products, Then this get products, we can just create it outside of the init state. Reason being we create this function is because we want to use the async and await methods, right? We can't put it here because it's going to crash with this init state. There you go. So now what we need to do is await this and check if the store is available. So to check it, we need to go to the engine and say get is available. Then get is available is going to return a boolean here, which is going to be a true or false. If it's connected, it's going to be true, otherwise it's going to be false. And then what we need to do is to first check if this value that is being returned from get is available is true. If it's true, we want to query the products, right? So let's put an async here since the other function is an await. So we need to await and say engine dot query products. Then this query products, it expects that the store product IDs, right? Then if you say then, it's going to return a response product details. So the product details response. So you can just rename this to res so that it's going to be different from this one, so we know which is which, right? So the product ID is definitely gonna be this one. Copy this and paste it here, right? So go inside of this empty array and then call in the product ID constructor, and then here you need to put in the product ID, the subscription product ID. So this one is always going to be false since it's not consumable, right? Just name it false. Then let's go to our Google Play Console account under the application. So we have got this weekly subscription product ID. This is the name, then and product ID. So to see it more, you can just go inside of this product. You can see it here, which is product ID. Copy this. So I've shown you how to create a subscription product in step 1. So you can just go and watch step 1 how to create this. Then close this application. Then go back to your product list. Then paste in that. Then you can also add multiple products like that, right? You can put in yearly, monthly, weekly, and so on and so on. But for now, I only want to put in the weekly because I only have a weekly subscription product ID, right? So now let's get rid of this and that space there. So let's just leave out the comments. There's our planning purpose. Then let's come here and pass in the product. We passed in the product details list, which is this one right here. So whenever we query this, we're going to get a product details response. This product details response, we want to update our product details list, this one. Then you can just paste it there and say add all, then go to the res and go to the product details, which is this one right here. So just to be safe, let's just come here and say clear all, just in case if there's any data here. So let's just clear it all and add everything that we get from Google Play Console, right? So there's more inside of this res. You can print out the res.notfound ID. There's some product that are not found IDs here. It's being written by the response. This not found ID, it simply means that if you've got a product like this one is not in Google Play Console. You didn't create this product ID. It's going to be listed here. So you will see that in a moment, right? So since we have got this product list down, we can go to our body and create a list view builder, and then it's going to be a context, comma, then index, just do like that, then return a list tile. Then inside of the list tile, we will just want to update the title. Then the title, we're going to say go to the products, these ones of the given index, stop, then descriptions. Let me put a semicolon there. Then let's add the item count. Then it's going to be products.length. Then we just need to hard reload this application because there's this init state. It's not being called at the moment because we were already in the subscription screen. So we just need to hard reset it and go back to the screen. Then it's going to call the init state. Let's go back to subscriptions and let's go to the thingy. You see this one is the not found product IDs, which is this one, this part here. Can just get rid of that. And then I don't know why it's showing 2 subscriptions here, right? So but nevertheless, we'll just have to see what's going on. So now what I will need to do is let's go to leading, trailing, trailing. Let's go to the trailing and put the price there. That's going to be the price. Or I understand why now it's showing 2 subscriptions, right? So the first one, this one is the weekly, is the what is this, is the offer one, which is this one right here. Then the other one is the actual weekly subscription, which is going to charge them every 7 days. So now it's showing the description as well as the price. Reason being, I'm using the description because if you use the title here, it's going to show you the application name also, you see, which is not appealing. So I prefer we use the description. So the description, you can simply update it here in the products, right? Come here and update this, the description here, write anything that you want to show in the user here, right here. So now since we are able to get the product, what we need to do is to handle the purchase, right? To handle the purchase, let's go to our list tile and wrap this into a gesture detector. So a gesture detector, it will give us the on tab. This on tab, we just want to call in a method right here. So we need to go to our engine, then say handle purchases. This handle purchases is accepting the store products. Our store products is definitely this one. Let's copy this, then paste it here. Then the product details, it's this one right here, per item. Paste it there, and then you save this. Is this a future? No, it's a void, so we don't have to pass in the async right here. Let's just put a comma here so it can put it in the new line. Then whenever you click this now, a launch purchase flow is gonna be shown here. Okay, as you can see, this is the trial. That's why it says free, because I don't have this trial yet. I didn't subscribe to this trial. That's why it's showing 2 products right here. But if I already subscribed to this trial, I won't be able to subscribe again. Then it will only show weekly subscription, only 1 product. So you see, if I click this one now, it shows me this one. You see, it's starting today. No free what is this, free subscription for the next 3 minutes, right? So now it's giving me 3 minutes because it's a test environment. If it was not a test environment, it was going to give me at least 3 days to test this free trial of weekly subscription, right? So now you can test which is going to be always approved, meaning successful payment, or you can fail this purchase. So to get these functions, you need to add your email to the license testing and the internal testing, right? So after a while, if you want to use real money or real purchases, you can just go back to where you configured your testing environment and remove that email. Then it will show you a real credit card here or a debit card. Then you can use it, because I get a lot of comments on how to use real money. So you just need to go back and remove your email, or you can use your friend's email to test, right? Yes. So now, since we are able to launch the purchase flow, which is the one that we saw just now, we need to listen to our purchases, right? So to listen to our purchases, we need to come to our init state. This is where we're going to listen to our purchases events, right? Even the restore, we can also listen to it here, right? So to listen to it, we just need to go to the engine, then go to the purchase instance, then go to the purchase stream. We just need to create a purchase stream, right? This purchase stream, it has a function called listen. Then we can just listen to these purchases in our application. So this listen is going to return a list of purchases details, right? It's going to return a list of purchases details. Then we can simply use that list of purchases details to check which product they are being stored here, right? Yeah. And then what we need to do is to create a function which is listen purchases. Then this listen purchases function is going to accept this list of purchase details, right? We can just pass it there, then copy this name, come outside and create this function. This function is going to be a future void function, because we need to await some of the calls in that function, right? And then future listen purchases, then this one is going to accept a list of purchase details. This is the list. We can async this, then open and close the function just like that. So first before we go anywhere, we're going to use this method, this one, to restore purchases, right? And we're going to also use it to catch all the purchases and activate the purchases to back to the use, right? So first, let's look at the restore one. So what we need to do is to check if this list is not empty. So this list that is being passed from here, we need to check it if it's not empty. So we just need to say if it's not empty, then we need to go inside else. We just want to set the state and update this is subscribed to false, right? There's no subscription in the moment. Then it will go to the what is this, the else. If there's no subscription, go to the else, and then we just want to update it to false, right? And then since now it's not empty, then we need to query through that list, right? We need to query through that list, which is this one, this list, and just say purchase details. We can simply copy this type and paste it here. So for every item in the list, we create the purchase details, right? So we want to go inside of the purchase details, which is this one, right? So it has many things that we can use to check here. What we want to check is the purchase details, right? So let's if this, then purchase details, go to the status, then equals to, then there's an enum called purchase status, which we can have access to these statuses, all of this. So we only want to check if the product is purchased or being restored, right? So restored is when the user they restore the subscription. They uninstalled your app for some reason, or they resetted their phone, then they come back, they go to the subscription screen. So we'll give them a button to click restore, then it's going to go to Google Play and check if this user has some subscriptions. If this user has some subscriptions, this list is going to be returned. Then we're going to call this list purchase. Then we're going to check the status there. If it's restored, then we're going to give back the user the subscription. Or we just want to check if the purchase date is purchased also, just like that. So we need to go inside of the if statement, just like that. So after checking the purchase details, so it's either going to be restored or purchased, right? So we want to also check the acknowledge field. The acknowledge field is coming from the purchase details, right? I will show you how to access that field. So for the first time, if the user they purchase our subscription, it's always going to be false. It's always going to be false because we haven't acknowledged the payment. So if we don't acknowledge the payment or complete the payment, it means that Google after 3 days is going to refine the use. So we really don't want to do that. We want to acknowledge the payment. So to acknowledge the payment, we need to go to this acknowledge and check it. So if the user they come again in your app, then they restore a subscription that they already have in your app, then it means that acknowledge is always to be true. So we're only going to check the acknowledge. If it's true, then we restore the subscription back to the user, right? So to get the acknowledge field from the purchase details, you will need to create a map, right? Go to the map and then say purchase data, and then equals to, then call in a JSON. So this JSON is coming from this convert. Make sure you import convert there, dot decode. And then what is the source? The source is coming from the purchase object, which is this one, purchase dot verification data dot local verification data. This one is going to return a string, which is an object that we are trying to convert it from a string into a map so that we can access the acknowledge, right? So just put a semicolon there and then come from this map and say if purchase, and then since it's a map, we want to access this acknowledge field there. So this acknowledge field is going to be a boolean. It's either going to be false or true, right? So let me just also print out this so that I will show you how I know that there will be an acknowledge field here, right? So just like that, you will see whenever we purchase a subscription here, then it will show us all the fields to access. So since we are checking if is true, if this acknowledge is true, it means that the user already owns this
subscription, they are restoring it. So we just simply need to come here and say set state, and then is subscribe is going to be true. Then we are setting the is subscribe true into a shared preference so that we can access it in any screen in our application, right? So in the else, this is where we're going to acknowledge our payment and complete our purchases, right? So remember, first time purchase is always going to be false, meaning it's going to come here. We can print it out here just to say first time purchase. And then here we just need to say restore purchase so that you will see in the console what I mean. Since now it's that, what we need to do, there are two things that we need to do. We need to complete the payment, which is the last thing that we can do here. Then another thing also, for an Android we need to consume the payment. For iOS we don't care if the payment is consumed or not, we just need to complete the payment. Here we need to consume it and then complete it. Then to consume it we need to check the platform first, then you just go to platform is Android. So after checking if the platform is an Android, what you need to do is create an Android platform edition. Then just get it from the engine in-app purchase instance and get platform edition, right? So this type in-app purchase Android platform edition is coming from the in-app purchase Android. Just come here and say import in-app purchase, and then you can just write Android like that, and autocomplete select this one right here, in-app purchase Android. There you go. Then you can save your code, and then as you can see now the error is gone. Since now we have got the edition, this one, you can use this Android platform edition to consume the payment. So now what you need to do is copy this, then say await, paste it, and then dot consume the purchase. So the purchase is taking in the consume purchase function is taking in the purchase details. Then the purchase details is this one. Just come here, copy this, paste it here, and then say dot then like that. And then there you go. You can simply copy the set state and paste it here inside of that. So we are done doing this for Android consume, right? So now what is left to be done is to complete the purchase, right? So we really don't care if the platform is iOS or Android, so they both use the complete purchase. So to complete the purchase, we first need to check if the purchase details are pending payment, it's true. If it's true, then we need to complete the purchase. To complete the purchase, you need to say await, then go to the in-app engine dot, then go to the in-app instance, and then complete purchase. You just need to pass in the purchase details here into this function, since it's accepting a purchase details right there, and it's a future, that's why we await for this. Then we can say then inside, once the purchase is complete, then we can just set the state. Then to set the state, we're using the same code, this one. So since we are using this code a lot in our code, we can simply create a method just right here, and then update is sub, and then we can just accept a or a boolean here, and then just name it value, and then it's equals to, and then replace the value with this. Then we can simply copy this, come here and call update sub, and then pass in true, just like that. To minimize our code, we can do the same here, and then we can also do the same here. But now here it means that if the list is empty, then we need to just say false. There you go. So now it's time to test and see this verification data. So let's just restart our application, then go back to the subscription screen. Then now we're going to purchase this weekly subscription. Let's open up the debug tool, the debug console. So as you can see here, we started consoling the local verification data. This line here 66, we wanted to see the local verification data, and then we were interested in the acknowledged field. For now it says false, meaning it's our first time purchasing this subscription. As you can see, it went to the else, and then we completed the purchase. As you can see, it says that the pending complete purchase is true. Then it came inside of this, then we completed our subscription. Then we updated our is subscribed to true. We also save is subscribed to true into a shared preference so that we can use it to any screen within our application, right? So now let me show you how you can use is subscribed to provide premium features or hide ads from the application, right? So for an example, I'll just come to my column and just add a text here and say showing ad. We are currently showing an ad for now. So now this one is just a simple example. I'll be recording a video how to actually hide the real ad, but now I just want to hide these text. Let's just pretend as if it's an ad, right? So now we can simply use a visible widget, which we can simply use this one to hide our text, right? So this one, if you put in true, it means that it will stay visible, right? If you put in false like this, it will disappear, right? Then since we have got our is subscribed here, let me just put a text right here, and then name it is subscribed, just to see the value. So now let's put in the actual variable. As you can see, is subscribed is true, right? Then we can simply use this one and update it and say if it's true, then we want to convert it to false, then it will keep this showing ad hidden, right? And now what we need to do also is to go to our init state. Into our init state, we want to say is subscribed. This one is subscribed. Then we want to grab the value from our shared preference. Whenever we land to the screen, right, get subscribe, then it can be null sometimes, so we just need to pass in a false like that if it's null. So now if I were to hard reset this and then close the application like that, and then go to the application and clear the cache data, even the storage. So if we go back to our application now, Let me just open it in the Visual Studio. So now if you go back to the subscription screen, guess what is going to happen, right? It's going to say false. Is subscribed is false, right? We have restarted our application. So now it leads me to restore subscription. If I go back to my subscriptions screen in Google Play, I can see that I still have the subscription here. So I want to restore the subscription back to my user, right? So what I will need to do is come here and then say just add a button here, add simple text, say restore subscription, right? Just restore subscription, just like that. And then let me just wrap this into a padding and then put 28, and then it's going to give us space there so we can see. Then now what I need to do is just wrap this into a gesture detector, and then let's remove the const. This gesture detector, we can just say on tap and then lambda version, and then we can just go to our in-app engine and then the instance of in-app purchase and then restore purchases, right? So since it's a lambda version, we don't have to put a semicolon there. Then we can save this. Now what is going to happen, we're going to go to our listen and return our subscriptions that the user own, right? So we can just go to our listen purchase, then it's going to check if it's acknowledged. If it's acknowledged, it's going to come here, right? So let's do that. Let's click restore subscription. There you go. So now it has restored our application, our subscription back, right? So as you can see, acknowledge is true, then it went to restore purchase, which is restore purchase, then it's going to set the state to true, then is subscribed now is updated to true. As you can see, is subscribed is true. Then this is how you restore a subscription. So guys, we are done with our part 3 of in-app purchases in Flutter, where we're going to implement e-subscription, right? So if you like the video, please consider subscribing into the channel and also liking the video. If you have got any question, you can just pop it up in the comment section.